Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so now we are going to do the summon or skip video for AGL Dokkan Fest Frieza. You guys know that we always drop one of these just before a banner is coming out. The video is scheduled to be going up at around 10 PM UK time. That means the banner will be dropping 9.5 hours after this video comes out. So if you're seeing this video as soon as it gets posted, banner drops in 9.5 hours. We should get the celebration info in about 2 hours as well, which will obviously show the times and everything in your own local time. Obviously global does show your local time zone times for events and things like that. So but you guys know it's like the normal time that banners come out when there's not a same time celebration or something like that, right? Banners always come out around that same time, which is 7:30 AM for me here in the UK. So we've talked about it a little bit on some previous videos when, you know, we got the confirmation that Frieza was coming out. I don't think it's a huge surprise to a lot of people that the Frieza banner, I think, is probably going to be a pretty easy skip for a lot of people. There are still some unknowns because we got some information from the data download that we'll talk about in a little bit here, but nothing about the actual banner lineup itself, right? Because normally if we get like an LR banner or something like that, the banners will have an animated thing which will appear in the data download, and we can see this image here with the splash page that has, like, you know, Frieza, Dodoria, Gohan and Piccolo. So if we saw this in the data download and it was very different, we would obviously have that information here already to talk about, but we do not, because one of the things that I know a lot of people were wondering is, with Rose getting his buff, would he be featured on the banner? Because of course he has not yet returned on a banner, and if he's going to be getting his buff, it would be kind of cool for him to be available. He came out on global before Gohan and Piccolo, so it wouldn't be unusual for him to return if they are returning in this time slot as well. But obviously we don't have, as far as I can see, I'm looking at Proton's data download summary thread here, which we will look at briefly at the end as well, but there's nothing about the banner in there for now. Now the interesting thing, of course, about that is we know that the AGL Trunks, who is the banner unit for Rose on JP, but for some reason didn't come out with Rose on global, is going to be on this banner. He has the same release date and time in the files as Frieza and Dodoria, so he's going to be on this banner. Now the weirdest thing they could do is, I mean, he could be on the banner and just not be featured and just be in the general pool, which would be weird. I don't think they will do that, but the only way around that means he either has to replace one of the characters that's already on this banner, or the banner becomes 8 featured units, which for anyone who does want to summon on the banner, that is, you know, the worst case scenario, because it means you now have an extra unit on the banner that you could pull while you're trying to get the specific units you want. Like if you want Frieza, maybe you want Gohan and Piccolo, maybe you're going to throw a couple of multis at it just to see if you can get that Trunks. If you're getting any sort of guaranteed featured animation, or even if you're not getting the animation but the game's just decided in that multi you are pulling a featured unit, you're then at a 1 of 8 chance to get the one you want instead of 1 out of 7. So I'm not sure how they'll do this. Rose is probably not going to be on the banner because we saw the news update that his passive is not updated yet. We all assumed that with the maintenance that took place, his passive would be updated, and then we'd just get a thing in the news to say that it had been done, because of course he released on JP basically half an hour after the maintenance ended on global, so it would have made sense for his update to be in the maintenance and then he's the same on both versions on the same day. But they have not put his update into the files. So as it's unlikely that we'll get another mini data download before this banner comes out, I think it's very unlikely that Rose will be on this banner. So that takes him out of the mix a little bit. And we just have the Trunks to worry about. I think the best case scenario is they just take off Ginyu and put Trunks on here. Ginyu makes sense for Frieza's team because of his leader skill, but obviously he's an older unit now. Bardock fits the theme because of Bardock and Frieza. AGL Bardock, of course, is on here because he's getting an EZA during this celebration, so he absolutely will be on the banner. There's no way he's getting removed. So Ginyu or Turles, I guess, are the top picks that could get removed to be replaced by Trunks. Gohan and Piccolo, whilst I don't think they're the craziest unit, this is their first time coming back, so I would like them to still be on the banner. but obviously we will have to see how the actual banner pans out. But in terms of the characters we know about for sure, we have Frieza. I talked about him a little bit in the video when he got confirmed as the next release for Global. He leads planetary destruction or space traveling warriors with the 30% to inhuman deeds or terrifying conquerors. His team can be okay, but it's certainly not one of the best teams around. There are certainly some wonky like setups depending on your box. Like if you're someone who doesn't have every single unit available, when it comes to picking all 6 units, you might struggle to have a team of 6 units that are all top tier. I did mention, of course, in the video the other day as well, though, the fact that Physical Kid Buu with his Easy A being on planetary destruction is certainly a very, very good option for this team. But of course, with Frieza's passive, he gets extra defense and crit chance with each terrifying conqueror ally on the team. And as you can see here, there's no maximum on that in his passive. So it's not like, you know, if he had a cap of like 3 allies, you could put the 3 allies on and then not worry about the rest being terrifying conquerors. But it means that every non-terrifying conquerors ally that you put on the team, that's less defense that Frieza is getting overall. Now, obviously it's a 20% buff, and if you put Physical Kid Buu on the team, if you're above the HP threshold, because of his support, he's giving 70%. So, I mean, that does kind of more than make up for it, but that is something that you certainly will have to be aware of. Of course, Frieza is a big bad bosses unit as well, so having Kid Buu on the team. Ideally for Frieza's team, you want a really good slot 1 tank in slot 1, Frieza in slot 2, and then a unit in slot 3 that's either giving support or giving him big bad bosses if the slot 1 unit doesn't have it. And then this Frieza has the potential to go absolutely crazy. He is a damage dealing unit. If you like units that do big funny damage numbers, you will like Frieza. If you don't like characters that just get killed by super attacks because their defense isn't, you know, they're not tank units, right? So super attacks will kill this guy. Depending how many times he supers in a turn, like he will be able to tank normals from a lot of the bosses, but he is a unit that even if you get like a godly RNG turn where he does a bunch of super attacks, if he then gets supered by like Physical Zamasu, Int Kid Buu, some of the anniversary bosses, like you certainly are in danger of him just getting killed. But I do like risk reward, like big attack damage dealing characters, so I'm hoping to have a bit of fun with this guy. But obviously we'll see how we get on. His team, as I say, is not the best. His side banner unit, Dodoria, is pretty good. If you pull Frieza, you probably do want to pull Dodoria as another option for his team, because not only is he supporting him, as well as other Inhuman Deeds characters, he has a built-in chance to do additionals. He also has an extra attack that has a great chance to become a super if you have Frieza on the team, and then he guards if you have Frieza in the turn. So if you're running Frieza's team and you're running double Frieza, you're probably going to have one on both rotations. So you can have this guy as a floating support unit, which means he has guard, he gets to do his super first and get all of his buffs. And then, yeah, is, you know, supporting the team as well. So Dodoria, certainly a decent banner unit here for the Frieza. And then, of course, I wanted to touch on Gohan and Piccolo because they are hopefully returning for the first time for Global. They came out in March of this year, so really not that long ago. So I wonder if this is the thing, this is only like 2 months, well, it's almost 3 because we're at the end of May. It's only like 3 months since they first came out on Global because of the Global weird schedule for the beginning of the year. So it would be weird, but I could see these guys potentially getting replaced on the banner as well. I'm hoping they don't, because as I say, it's their first return. I didn't pull them from their initial banner, so would be nice to get an extra copy. With the setups for Bond of Master and Disciple teams and everything, these guys could certainly be pretty interesting. It's a shame that the tech Gohan that just got his Easy A isn't a Bond of Master and Disciple character, because they could certainly have some funny shenanigans as well. But these guys are fairly decent, so hopefully they will remain on the banner. And then that AGL Trunks is going to replace either Ginyu or I would say probably Turles, because Turles and Tech Bardock have returned a few times already on Global. But Tech Bardock obviously makes sense to be on the banner because of the AGL Bardock as well and the connection to Frieza. I'm not sure if I actually have the physical Turles rainbowed, actually, now that I think about it, because I don't think I picked up, if I have a unit with like 2 dupes or more, I don't normally pick up extra copies of coins because I know they're going to come eventually. But yeah, he's on 90%, so him being on the banner would be fine if I can get that last copy. Now, in terms of the summon or skip videos, as you guys know, they're always primarily aimed at people that are free to play or don't spend a lot of money on the game, because you do have to think about everything that's going to be coming out. And the big thing still, as it has been for the whole of the year, is the anniversary. We got the news in the producer letter today that the countdown celebration is going to begin towards the end of June, which is a month away from now, and then we will be into the anniversary. So these are the final hurdles for your stone count being at risk before we get to the anniversary. So for most people, I would say this banner is a skip. Frieza is a decent unit. He can be fun, but his team isn't the best. And if you want to optimize your summons, you know, you want to have the best units available possible, especially if you are more of a casual player and you struggle to beat some of the harder events sometimes. You are going to want the anniversary units more than you're going to want this Frieza in terms of your overall box. Now, obviously, if you're a huge fan of Frieza, or you're a whale or a collector or anything, right, you're going to summon for him regardless. But in terms of being smart with your stones, I would say you probably don't want to be summoning on this banner. Even though it introduces that new Trunks, he'll go straight into the general pool after this banner. Obviously, the Gohan and Piccolo, if they do return, will be available with coins. Bardock as well, if you don't have him and he's getting his Easy A, but unfortunately his Easy A is not great, so it's not like he's a great pick for your red coins anyway. But pretty much everything about this banner makes it a pretty solid skip. Now, if we take a look over here at the Proton thread for the data download for global, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, all the information about, we got like the intro trailer, all the information for the card arts and all this kind of stuff. Here you can see what I was saying about the Trunks having the exact same release time and date as these guys, so he's definitely going to be on the banner there somewhere. And we have information about all of the new stages and all that kind of stuff. But the important thing that we can see in the image up here is we have a bunch of tickets. Some of these are the ones mentioned in the producer letter for the packs that are going to be added as part of the countdown that purchasing players will be able to buy ready for the anniversary. But we also have the normal Dokkan festival tickets in here as well. So if you are somebody who spends money on the game, as always, this banner is going to have tickets. I feel like we've gotten to the point where like just every banner on global has ticket packs now. So it's become less of a, it's now going to be more weird if they don't have tickets. I remember as more and more banners started to get tickets, then in these videos we would be mentioning like, hey, this banner's going to have tickets, but I feel like they just kind of always do now. So if you are somebody who does spend money on the game, then obviously if you want to throw some summons at Frieza, but you don't necessarily want to massively impact the stones that you have already stocked up for the anniversary, then you can go for the ticket packs. I feel like this discussion happens every time, but as I've said many times before, if you work out in terms of the number of units that you get for the money that you spend, the tickets are good value if you want to summon on the banner. If you were to just buy stones and then summon, you don't get as much value as you do from the ticket packs, and the ticket packs usually come with a bunch of items and skill orbs and stuff like that as well. So if you want to throw some summons at the banner but you don't want to use your stones and you are a paying player, there will be the ticket packs. But I think even for paying players, unless you are a whale or collector or a big Frieza fan, with them announcing those countdown ticket packs that are going to be added in, that we can get stuff to get extra summons for the anniversary, I feel like people are going to be more focused on those. So especially if you're someone who spends a bit on the game but not a huge amount, those are probably going to end up being much better value for you in the long run than buying tickets to summon for Frieza. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Will you be summoning? Will you be skipping? Like I say, as fun as a unit as he can be, and I always say people should summon for the characters they want, but in terms of being smart with your stones, I feel like this is a easy skip banner for basically everyone. Hopefully I can get a copy of him, and hopefully Dodoria, as soon as possible without having to go too deep into the banner. But unfortunately for Frieza, he kind of falls into the same boat as the Gohan and Piccolo did for me, where if I drop a few hundred stones on this banner and I still haven't got him, I probably will stop. I'm not going like all in with my stockpile of stones to try and get this Frieza. So we'll see. Obviously if I don't pull him, we'll do videos where we use him as a friend, because he's not introducing a new category or anything like that. But yeah, if you guys are going to summon, let me know down below. Otherwise, give me your thoughts on everything from the producer letter and all of that today. And I will be live tomorrow to summon for Frieza. Hopefully, I will see you guys there. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.